Taxes are unpopular. However, they are also inevitable. Putrajaya had actually been behind its self-imposed May 1st target for the broadening of the sales and service tax coverage, which kicked in on July 1st. But according to senior editor Cindy Yeap, Malaysia is actually much more behind than that.
Nobody likes taxes, but the truth is, we Malaysians are 30-40 years late. Indonesia, for example, started having VAT in 1984 when they were much poorer. That's actually earlier than Singapore. And they started at 10%, and today it's actually 12%.
In a recent interview with FM2, Datuk Seri Amir Hamzah Azizan said that with this revision and expansion, the Madani government is striking a delicate balance between fortifying its coffers and safeguarding the country's growth engines, namely the MSMEs and the rakyat.
When we interviewed Datuk Seri Amir Hamzah, he's very plainly saying that the country needs the money. You want good healthcare and you want to provide more services, better infrastructure in schools, basically simple things like fixing toilets, all that needs money. And the truth is, for the past almost 30 years, since 1998, Malaysia has been spending more than it earns. And because of that, our debt levels had gone from about 100 billion in 1998. And in 2022, it crossed 1 trillion and now it's 1.28 trillion. That's in March. And it's going to go up some more because despite higher taxes, we are still spending more than we earn. But these are necessary spending.
As expected, the government drew a lot of flack when it announced the broader SST. First was from the middle class, who felt that they would likely be experiencing the short end of the stick, and then from critics who pointed out that the mounds of government debt was not the doing of the rakyat.
We did ask the second finance minister about the impact of the SST expansion on the middle income, whom also eat avocados and will probably feel any price increases the most. And he acknowledged it, but he also said the additional income coming from SST, when it goes to improving infrastructure like basic healthcare and also roads, they too will also benefit. And to be fair, the cash handouts, the Sumbangan Tunai Rama, the government says it benefits 9 million people, and probably some of the middle income are also covered. But it is true, the grouses of how a lot of this debt has grown because of leakages and also certain spendings that shouldn't have been made. And so instead of focusing on why we need to pay taxes now, perhaps it's more constructive to actually pay attention on how the government is actually spending our money, because it's inevitable. We are already an aging nation, and by 2040 we are going to be an aged nation.
The additional revenue of 5 billion expected for the second half from the expanded SST bolsters the government's revenue estimate to 51.7 billion ringgit, which according to observers, Putrajaya seems comfortable with. But according to Amir Hamzah, while SST makes the headlines, the true impact is more fundamental.
When we asked Datuk Seri Amir Hamzah what was his final stand on the SST, he said it's not so much a story about taxes, but a story of reforms for Malaysia, that Malaysia is actually in a good place right now, but we are not done. There's a lot of reforms that still need to happen, and this increasing fiscal space is something that would help Malaysia on this reform journey.